Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a school-related video for you guys. As you can see, you're going to be staring at my hands today. I made sure my nails were done. Ever since I have been sharing these images of what I do for school on social media, you guys have been tweeting me, commenting, messaging, Snapchatting, and I absolutely am so excited for today's video because I've been wanting to do something like this, but I just had no idea if you guys were interested in it or not. But we're gonna start with the basics. Now, there are so many videos I want to do, but of course I feel like we have to start with the most basic level, and that is the planning process. Planning is so important when it comes to time management because let's be honest, we all have 24 hours in a day. So if you plan it out right, you're gonna get the most out of those 24 hours. But other than that, we're gonna go over how I break this down, and I'm gonna share with you tips and tricks. I'm also going to share with you my favorite pens currently. Now, my favorite pens kind of change all the time because I'm what you call a penaholic. So I'm constantly checking out new pens, constantly buying. I'm also going to share with you a little bit of what's in my binder and how I stay organized. Now, if you like any of these videos, make sure you like this video and comment down below because I would love to do maybe like a how I study, tips and tricks on how I study very well, and how I take notes. Ooh, I would love to do a video on how to take notes. But for today's video, let's start with this, so let's get started. Now, of course, you don't have to go and buy a notebook like this. This is a 5-star notebook by this brand, MEAD. You don't have to buy something like this. This can be a little bit pricey. If you're balling on a budget, these notebooks are at the Dollar Tree or the 99-cent store. They are so affordable. I got this at my university's bookstore, and I don't quite remember how much it was, but the reason that I love it is because the pages are very big. I love the college rule because the spaces are smaller. Wide rule, I just don't like it because you're not really getting the most of your space, and it doesn't look appealing to me. Moving on to my binder. Now, binders are very different. If you're in middle school, you do things a little bit differently than when you're in high school. And if you're in high school, you definitely do things a little bit differently than when you're in college. Now, in middle school, usually my professors used to give me a list of things I needed to buy before the school year started. In high school, it was kind of depending on the teacher. And in college, they tell you on the first day, but most of the time it's all online, especially because universities right now are trying to save paper. If you're wondering, I do go to Cal State Dominguez Hills, and I am a communications major with an emphasis in public relations and advertising. I know I get that question a lot, so I wanted to make sure I answer it for you guys. I am a full-time student, so as you can tell, I just have a lot of things to do. And on top of that, I also do YouTube. So to balance everything out, I need to have really good time management. So the binder that I use for college is just one binder. And in that binder, I buy dividers. Now, these dividers came in one pack. They were a divider with, I think, 10 little sections in it. Now, as you can tell, this semester, a lot of my professors aren't using a lot of paper, so I don't really have anything in here. But later this week, I'm going to print out all of my classes' syllabus that have the calendar on, and I'll put it in sections, and from there, each week, before the school week starts, I can go ahead and see what I'm doing that week. Maybe I have an exam on Thursday that I need to be prepared for, just so I know what's going on. But that's a really good tip, is if your professor gives you a calendar for the whole entire year or the semester or the quarter, depending on how your academic works, make sure you print it out and keep yourself on track, because you don't want to be in like week 6 of your semester and realize you have an exam the next week and you didn't even start reading the last 5 chapters. That would be extremely bad. In the back, I also like to keep a folder. Now, these folders were literally 59 cents at Staples. Before the school year started, they had like this awesome sale. So I grabbed a folder, and in it, I like to keep just little things like handouts that my teachers give back to me that I don't have hole punches on, or maybe homework due, or anything that I don't want to get like crumbled in the process. In the back here, I also like to keep extra paper in case any of my friends in class, any of my classmates need a piece of paper. I can just easily open my binder and give them a piece rather than trying to rip it out of my actual notebook. Now, a tip that I have when it comes to dividers is make sure you buy the dividers that are this material that you can easily erase, but they're also really, really sturdy. Now, I know the paper dividers are more inexpensive, but those tend to rip, especially around the ring area, and especially if you are going to use it a lot. When you're flipping like this, it's going to rip and tear, and then you have to go and buy new ones. These have been lasting me for years, years, and years. They don't rip. They're really good material. And I know it comes with little slips here so you can label your classes up in this corner. But a tip that I have is maybe use Sharpie and write your classes here. And then at the end of the year, just use polish, like nail polish remover, and that'll erase the Sharpie. So you can use this year after year and you don't have to waste money. Now, let's say you really don't want to buy dividers. You're like, Kim, I'm balling on a budget. I also don't want to waste that money on stinky little dividers. That is completely okay too. Just go ahead and get some blank white computer paper, or you can get line paper, hole punch it, use these as dividers, and that way you can save a lot of money. It's not a necessity, but you're still being able to organize everything in one place. Now, this is something that I started this semester. So far, I've been loving, and this is one of my biggest tips and one of my favorite tips actually, is having a calendar that is right in the front, straight in your face, so you know exactly what's going on. Now, these calendars you can get at Target, which is where I got mine. These are the ones that hang up on the wall, but I just kind of ripped everything off and placed it perfectly on my binder. You can also get it at Walmart, Staples, any home office store, definitely at the Dollar Tree 99-cent store. Or if you don't want to waste the money, you can easily go on Google and type out calendar layouts, and you'll get a layout, and you'll just have to fill in the dates. But for my academic one, since I am a full-time student and I'm taking 6 classes, I went through all 6 classes that my 6 professors gave me, and I wrote down the important dates. So the ones in red highlighted in neon yellow, those are all of my quizzes, exams, essays that are due, basically anything that is due I need to be prepared for. I also like to label my social. So basically if I'm going to lunch with Aspen and Lauren, or I have a photo shoot, or I have a tanning appointment, a teeth whitening appointment, anything like that, I also like to label out, because when I'm looking at my studying schedule, I know that next week is going to be a very, very crazy week, so I'm going to need to prepare ahead of time. I also like to X out my dates because it makes me feel like I'm getting things accomplished and things are getting finished. So as you can see, this is the month of September, and then I have the month of October all written down. It's very simple. Just go through the calendars and the schedule that your professors give you and write down the dates ahead of time, so you're always prepared. And I like keeping that smack in the front of my binder, so if I'm in class or I don't remember something, I can just easily look at my planner like this and I know where everything is. Now, the calendar on the back is the absolute same concept with just a different calendar design, but it's the same concept, and this is my YouTube calendar. So I like to plan out when I'm filming, when I'm uploading, when I'm editing, and I also add social stuff. So my photo shoots, everything like that, birthdays, what I'm doing each weekend, so I can look at this and go, okay, when do I have time to film? When can I edit? What needs to go up? How many videos went up? Etc, etc. Now, I know at this point a lot of you guys are wondering, Kim, you know you can just go buy a planner that has months and dates and that'll save you so much time and money. but some of those binders are actually really expensive, and I like when things are laid out like this. I don't like when I have to flip through everything to see. I just like when I'm sitting in class and I can see what exams are next, and I can flip it over and see my YouTube schedule. You just have to find out what works for you. Everybody works a little bit differently, so make sure you be kind and don't judge others. You know, what you like, someone else might not like, and vice versa. Okay, so let's get started on the binder section. Now, every single week is a little bit different. It depends on my creativity. My handwriting also depends on a lot of things. The pen that I'm using, my mood, how I woke up that morning, what I ate, what kind of colored mood that I'm in that day. If I'm going for something a little bit traditional, you know, yellow and black tend to go together. Or maybe I'm feeling, you know, a little bit colorful, so I do a little bit of vines and or a lot of reds and colorfuls and blues and stuff like this. Oh, by the way, I know that I spelled Wednesday wrong. That was completely my fault. I was in a rush. But yeah, it really depends on everything. This works for me, so I'm going to go ahead and do an example for you, and we can go from there. So to start out the week, we're going to start with a Monday, and for this week, I'm really into yellow, so I'm just going to take a highlighter. You can use any highlighter, but I definitely like the highlighters that the tip is at an angle. It just makes everything way better. So I'm just going to write out Monday, and that's going to be my big headline. I like when the subject title is in big letters, so I know how everything is organized and what section goes with what section. Now I'm going to take a black pen and I'm going to outline that so it sticks out. Now you don't have to do your letters like mine. You can do it however your heart pleases. This is just what I feel right now. Like I said, it changes every single week, but maybe you like cursive, you know? You don't like block letters. And what I suggest is going online and watching videos and teaching yourself how to make really cool letters. That's what I'm doing right now, and I've been loving it. And then right under the day of the week, I like to write the date. Moving on to the side, this is why I love these pieces of paper because they are so big and have so much room. On the side right here, I like to write important things. So I'm gonna leave my black and I'm gonna pick up my red. Now, important things would be maybe you have some dinner plans or you have to pay some bills, whatever it may be. So let's say at 7 o'clock, I have to go to dinner with Michelle. So you can design this however you please, but I like to write at 7 o'clock, and then I'm going to do PM. I always like to do PM or AM so I know if it's in the morning or at night. And I do dinner with... Now, since you're planning, you can shorten people's names if you will remember. So Michelle's name is usually M in all of my planners. So all the important dates will go right here. Now, for this section, I kind of go into the whole to-do list style. So I like to make boxes. So I always skip like one line. And over here, I like to make mini little boxes as I go. So the first thing that I need to do, say I need to study for my media law class. And my handwriting really depends on my mood. I have so many. Sometimes I like to write them small like so. So I'll do media law exam next Thursday. And that is so organized, petite, and just super, super cute, and I love it. And when I'm done with that, I like to go in with a red pen, or you can use whatever you want, and I check it off. So after the day is over, I can look at everything I've done and see what else I can accomplish or what I can accomplish tomorrow. Now, whatever I don't finish, I go in with a pen and I'll shade in that box, whatever color I would like. And from there, I'll draw an arrow down to the very next day, and I'll make sure that I finish that the next day. So I'll just draw an arrow down. Now, usually this, I like to do the night before. So Monday, I'll do it Sunday night, and for Tuesday, I'll do it Monday night. So I can wake up the next day and know what I need to conquer and go as the day goes. For this part, you can be really creative and do whatever your heart desires. Another tip I have is that, as you can tell, I only do times with things that have time. So if Michelle and I plan dinner at 7 o'clock, I will write 7 o'clock. If something's due at midnight, I will write midnight. If I have to go somewhere at 3 o'clock, I'll write 3 o'clock. But for these tasks, I don't write times down because I like to be very, very realistic with them. Whenever I write times down, I feel like I have this pressure to do it. And sometimes when you have pressure to do something, you don't actually end up doing it. So instead, I just write what I need to be done, and I'm very, very realistic. For each day, I'm not going to write like 20 things that I need to be done. I'll see if I can kind of expand it into the next few days. But things such as studying, because I have an exam the next day, those are at my priority list. Now, if something's important, I'll go ahead and even highlight it in red. For an example, this is for tonight actually, and I have to start my study guides and for media law and natural disasters. So I highlighted that in red because I need to do that. I need to answer some emails. And last night I had 2 assignments that were due that were important. And so I'll make sure that I highlight everything so that really, really stands out to me. At the top of my sheet for next week, I have 2 exams. So I like to write everything that is happening next week so I definitely remember. And then this also corresponds with what my calendars have in the front of my binder. Okay, friends, that is it for today's video. I hope you love it as much as I do. Make sure you leave some love in the comments. Like this video, subscribe. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next one after I survive all of my exams. Bye, my loves.